So, what do you think when you hear the word failure? Does it fill you with anxiety? Does it make you think to yourself that you're just not good enough, that you should give up? What is it that you think, or the inner dialogue that happens when you hear the word failure? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on the Do More podcast, where we focus on leadership, productivity, and organization. And we really want to strike down the notion of the hustle fallacy. All right, let's jump right in. Welcome back to the Do More podcast, and welcome to this episode where we're going to really discuss the idea of failure and whether failure is a good thing, a bad thing, or really it's indifferent. So the question that we started out with was, what do you think when you hear the word failure? And most of us are thinking, negative things. Failure is bad, right? We're thinking that we're not good enough, that we should give up, and so on. But while failure can involve those thoughts and emotions, it can also help make us stronger, wiser, and really to help us grow. So let's look at a simple definition of failure. And this is as simple as it gets. It's an act or an instance of failing or proving unsuccessful. It's a lack of success. Simple, right? Lack of success. And when I think about this definition of failure, I'm reminded of Thomas Edison. And you've probably heard this story before, but he, as we all know, is the inventor of the light bulb. And while there are several conflicting stories, and even some people are indicating that this is not even a true story, that's all right. The moral behind the story still exists, and it's still a great one. So we're talking about how many times Thomas Edison failed at inventing the electric light bulb. And most agree that it was in the thousands before he actually found the right combination of materials for the filament, the electricity, etc. And one of Edison's most famous quotes is, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. I'm not discouraged because every wrong attempt discarded is another step forward." That is so powerful, right? And if you can adopt the same attitude, the same mindset, you're going to overcome your feelings of failure and you're going to be able to see your dreams and desires come to fruition. Robert Schuller stated these famous words. He said, "Failure doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you haven't succeeded yet." I love that one little 3-letter word there, yet. When you can say, "I may not have been successful yet," it changes the whole concept of what you are saying, and it changes your mindset, really. And Henry Ford, here's another one. He said, "Failure is only the opportunity to begin more intelligently." And when you consider those words from these wise and successful people, you'll truly begin to understand the power of failure. It's a good thing. It can be a great thing in your life. And the truth is, you only fail when you give up. Right? As long as you keep trying, your failure is not failure. It is simply a learning episode, right? You've learned what didn't work. So then you move on. And when you keep trying until you've found the answer or the solution, that is when you are successful. And you would never say that someone like Thomas Edison or Henry Ford or any of these guys that we talked about, you would never say that they were failures, would you? No, you sure wouldn't. Sure, they were unsuccessful many, many times, but they didn't give up until they found the answer, the right procedure, or the right materials to solve their dilemma. They kept going. And in case those quotes weren't enough to make you believe that failure has a positive power and a strength, here are some others that you might relate to. This one is William D. Brown. He said, "Failure is an event, never a person." Okay, it's not your identity. You are not a failure. You may have failed, but you are not a failure. So the next time you try your hand at something and you don't achieve the desired result, remember, it's not you. It's not who you are. It's not your identity. It's simply an event. How about Bill Cosby? He said it well when he said, "I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everybody." If you're trying to please everyone, you cannot possibly succeed. You need to know who your target audience is, who you're trying to be successful for, or what the definition of successful is for you. And again, if it is trying to please everyone, then chances are you're going to be hard pressed to actually achieve success. F. Scott Fitzgerald said, "Never confuse a single defeat with final defeat," right? A single defeat is not final defeat. George Cukor said, "You can't have any successes until you can accept failures." Oh, that is so true. So true, that you can't find success until you can accept your failures as a stepping stone, as a building block to better yourself. And just because you failed once, twice, or in Thomas Edison's case, 10,000 times at something, it doesn't mean that you're a failure. You only fail when you stop trying. If there's one thing that you take away from this podcast episode, is you only fail when you stop trying. Still not convinced? Mickey Rooney said, "You always pass failure on your way to success." What do these words mean to you? No matter what you're trying to succeed at, whether it's a sport, a project, career, invention, or at school, there will be times when you don't succeed. But you can't, and you mustn't let that stop you from reaching your goals and your dreams and your desires. People, we have to keep going. Failure cannot be and should not be final. The common thread among all of these famous people that we've talked about today and all of these, the authors of these quotes, is the same. You can't have success without failure. Never give up and never stop trying. There is power in failure. You just have to give yourself a chance. Keep trying, keep failing, and soon you'll find true success. Now, as a free gift to you for listening to today's podcast, I'm going to offer you a free ebook titled "Communicating Like a Leader, Skills for Effective Leadership." And all you have to do is jump over to my website. It's benribble.com. That's benribble.com/communicate. benribble.com/communicate, and download that free book today to help you become a better leader in your communication skills. All right, friends, looking forward to talking to you on the next episode of the Do More podcast, where we focus on leadership, productivity, and organization.